Hi everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to The Truth, where today we have a very interesting team, the Green Bay Packers. I'm just going to say this outright. The Packers are a team who I think could trade up in the draft this season, and I'll get into that a little bit later though. Right now, the Packers are coming in with about $12.5 million. Um, they do have more draft picks than really necessarily bodies that they lost coming in to the draft. So they have less positional needs than the draft picks they have. They have more draft picks. So they're in a very good situation. Hence why I think they could trade up. But with about 12.5 million million in capital, what are we realistically looking at resigning? Well, some things that I want to kind of see, kind of want to pique some interest. Right now, the Packers need 3 starters and about 5 backups. Now you have $12.5 million. You're going to have capital enough to sign your free agents. So what I was really interested in saying is maybe re-signing AJ Dillon and re-signing Nixon, which would fill two of your backup needs. And then things get really interesting in the draft, because now you can really trade up and go get guys who can make a difference. Go get go get the best players at those positions, at the selected positions that you need, and be kind of comfortable. The Packers have 3 extra draft picks. Plus, if you were to, let's say, re-sign AJ Dillon and Nixon, well, now you have 5. But to put in perspective, they have about $12.5 million of cap, just a little less. If they ever decided to, let's say they did decide to re-sign AJ Dillon. I know this video is a little fast than I usually go, but it's just because I'm so excited to talk about this. This is the first team I get to talk about this, and it's so exciting because the trade possibilities are endless. Like, this is a team who I'd kind of, if you heard trade possibilities, I'd kind of listen to it and see what's the case, like who they're wanting to move up with in the draft. Just because, like, this is a team who I think that's possible. They have $12.5 million. About, if they were to re-sign AJ Dillon, let's say they trust him and they want to re-sign him. He's young too. He's a young back. It cost them what? Sports Track has calculated. It cost them about $3 million. 590,066. That leaves the Packers with roughly $8.9 million. Okay, well, you still have enough to resign. You have plenty amount of cap to resign. Well, you could, now you do have enough cap, you automatically sign up your running back. And with that amount of cap, if you really like Nixon, you can go sign a guy like Nixon. Or, bringing this up while I'm on the topic of signing players, you can go get a couple of cheap free agents that you like. Maybe splurge on one bigger free agent to kind of fill a need, or resign some guys. There are a lot of possibilities. Like I said before, there are a lot of possibilities for the Packers. They could go in free agency. Now, they couldn't really splurge that much. They'd probably be able to spend about roughly $8 million. But I mean, if you do find a guy who you'd want to pay $8 million a year to, I mean, there you go. But let's say, just not getting into hypotheticals really right now. Let's getting into more plausible hypotheticals and just saying, oh, they're going to sign this guy and that guy. If they did want to re-sign Nixon for depth at cornerback, it cost them. Sports Track has them roughly around $1,737,392, which would give the Packers about $7,172,542 roughly. And with that amount of cap, you can still go out and kind of sign cheap veteran talent. You can pick up about, I'll say 2, maybe 3 veteran minimum deals and fill up these linebackers, fill up these positional spots even more. Because if you did that, well, now you're sitting here with, let's say you did pick up another 3. You take care of your running back and cornerback spot, and then you fill in the rest of your depth. That's center, nose tackle, and linebacker. Well, now you're sitting here with a boatload of picks and only 3 needs: 2 safeties right now and a guard. I mean, you could easily trade up and get the best safeties and a guard, and the best guards in the draft, and then just either kind of, if you have leftover picks, trade them back next year or find somebody you like. The Packers are in a very good situation where they can sit and pick, or they can go get guys, or they can do a mix. Like, the Packers are in a very good situation to. I would be surprised if they didn't, win 10 games next year. Like, this is a team who won 9 games next year. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a team who won 10 games next year. Like, you'd have to really screw up this situation, and if they did, I'd honestly be sitting here saying that they need to rethink who they have in an organization if they screwed up this position, because like literally it's very hard to lose in this situation when you have this, when you're positive in cap, you have more draft picks than you need, and you have enough to re-sign players and sign a couple veteran veteran minimum deals. They're in a very good situation. But without speaking about hypotheticals, I haven't seen any rumors about them trading up. I haven't seen anything. Getting into the draft, like I said before, the Packers have 3 extra draft picks, and with the draft picks I chose, with the first pick 25, I took Cameron Kitchen, safety out of Miami, 5'11", 201. Kitchens had 6 interceptions last year. He's a very ball hawk. He's going to be that free safety guy. Nice playmaker, very exciting. Can read QB's eyes, manage space. He's good at accelerating in zones. He's smart. He has great closing speed. The only nick on him is he's 5'11". Other than that, he's 5'11", 201. That's probably the only nick on him. And that's probably why he isn't really necessarily projected to go higher. But I mean, like, look, if I were them, I wouldn't mind it. He undersized guy, but has a lot of the other qualities that you like in a high safety. The next guy, not so much. As a smaller guy, Tyler Newman, safety out of Minnesota, 6'2", 210. This is a guy I got with the second pick. He's not really the fastest or the most fluid athlete. But sorry. He is a good athlete, and nonetheless, in coverage, he's not athletically, he's not fluid, but in coverage, he's fluid. He's physical. Can adapt to the plays can adapt to situations at the moment. He's efficient, good tackler, and he can create turnovers. Both of these guys, I just want to let you know, can create turnovers. And like I said, if the Packers did want a guy who necessarily wasn't a big guy, who was, these guys, how should I say? Sorry, I'm getting my words scrambled up because I'm just so excited. These guys are kind of polar opposites. While Kitchens is really good at coverage and is fast and athletic and is a ball hawk, he's lighter weight. Newman is the opposite. He's not as much of a ball hawk, not as much of a faster, agile safety, but he's bigger. He can still get turnovers, and he can be a really good in run support and play rec. His tackling ability is really good too. 2 opposite safeties who could benefit with the other's abilities. But I mean, look, if I was the Packers, I'd be sitting here really happy with the selection that happened. With the third pick, pick 58, I chose Cooper Beebe, 6'4", 322, offensive guard out of Kansas State. One of the top guards in the draft. I know a lot of people count him as the top guard in the draft. He fell to the second round. Great pass protector. He protects his chest. Athleticism is pretty good. He can pull well. He's great at getting to the second level. The only knock at him is he isn't the best athlete. I mean, he's not like, I'm not saying he's not a bad athlete. He's not your top of the line, crazy, insane athlete. He's a really good athlete. Let me put it that he's a really good athlete. He's just not crazy good. He's gonna be a day one starter for you. If he falls to second round, Cooper Beebe is a day one starter for you, no doubt in my mind. I'd be because on film he looks really good, so it's hard for me to see BB not working out in the NFL. Especially at 6'4", 322, and with his abilities. I mean, like, look, he is going to be. You'd think he'd be a day one starter for you. So with that being said, I was able to address all three starters for the Green Bay Packers. With the next pick, I chose running back Brendan Allen. Now this could also be if they do decide to re-sign their running back that they had, like I talked about earlier, then I'd probably go with a different pick. But right now, Brendan Allen, yes, this is the pick I chose at pick 88, their fourth pick. Big guy, strong guy, super young, can bounce off tackles, goal line back, big guy, can go through the trenches. He is your downhill running back. Um, he'll be a nice pace to change with what the Packers already have at running backs. I think I'll be honest, I think with his size, he could probably be your number 2 running back coming out the gate. And then with him being so young, like he can provide big physical plays and also explosive plays by bouncing off tackles. Brendan Allen, running back out of Wisconsin. I think that's a great pick. With the next pick, I chose linebacker Peyton Willis out of NC State. Kind of a linebacker who you want to kind of be smart and just kind of it's third round linebacker, so there are some things you're gonna have to work on. He does need reps in the NFL, but I mean he's a serviceable linebacker who you can have at depth. I think at depth would be great for them. I pick 127. I chose Mekhi Wingo to be their nose tackle. Height wise, he fits the bill. It's just weight; he's a little too small. He would have to put on some more weight, which I think he can do. Like I think Mekhi can do that. The only thing is, I think his pass. Sorry, I think his pass blocking skills would take a bit of a dip in speed. That was the one thing he had. If you just put on pure weight. Now, I'm not saying he can't get put on weight and kind of get stronger and bulldoze guys. I'm saying he can. It's just I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if his pass rushing ability kind of took a small decline at first, and then kind of once he got used to using that way, it goes back up to what it is. Mekhi Wingo was somebody who people kind of expected to really pop off. Didn't have that season, but it's not bad. I think at this pick to fill that nose tackle spot, I think that'd be a really smart move. At pick 168, I chose corner Jaquan Shepard out of Maryland, 6'1", 194. He has nice height for a corner. You'd like him maybe to put on a couple extra pounds just to kind of, with how big he is, with how tall he is, you'd like him to really fill out that frame a little bit more. But look, he's going to provide depth at that cornerback spot. And yeah, I think this is a great pick for them. And then the last pick, I decided to fill the backup center spot with Charles Turner out of LSU. Turner was a good piece to that LSU offense. The one Nick had on him, I don't know if I need to do more research on it. His snaps were a little low throughout the season. I don't know if that's just me being kind of, as I watched LSU, be kind of nitpicky, or if it's actually a little bit of concern. Other than that, he wasn't a bad pass blocker. And he wasn't a bad run blocker either in the SEC. They were able to run the ball pretty effectively for LSU. LSU was. So I think this would be a nice pickup. And this could be a guy who could really turn into something later down the road. I think that's a very fair possibility for him. Other than that, they, like I said before, they do have that's for first round picks. Sorry. They do have 3 remaining picks. So like, with what I'd say, they'd probably trade up. The possibilities. Cooper Beebe, I don't know if you necessarily would trade up. Maybe you do. Maybe you think Cooper Beebe goes up higher. Maybe you do trade up to go get Cooper Beebe. or maybe you trade up in one of these other maybe not maybe you sit and get your starters and then trade up later in the draft and go get maybe if you think positions are better, go get better players at these positions. You know, there are a lot of possibilities, and it's very exciting to see what the Packers are going to do. I'm very excited. This is a team I really want to monitor and see how they will play. Now there is a rumor about their tackle, um, about them trading their left tackle. I don't necessarily know if that would happen with how good this team is. Um, just because I can pull it up right here, actually. If I go back to Green Bay. Sorry, it's taking so long. Sometimes my internet isn't the best. Here we go. David Bakhtiari. Okay, so basically you can do this if I click on David Bakhtiari. Basically getting into this. David Bakhtiari is an unrestricted free agent. Sorry, I was reading something. David Bakhtiari is an unrestricted free agent going into 2025. With that being said, this is our last year. His base salary is $10 million. Basically, he has a cap hit of $39 million. He has a dead cap of $19 million. So to put that in perspective, if they cut him today, they'd accumulate $19 million in dead cap. But they save about $21 million in dead cap. So what that basically means is, how could I explain this? It's not, you're not really saving that much money because of dead cap and cap savings. You're saving about roughly $1 million, maybe $2. If he was a June 1st hit, you'd accumulate more cap. And it's poor sports track, but you'd accumulate dead cap of $28 million and cap savings of $11 million. So he has a cap hit of about $40-ish million, which I wonder why that is. Yearly cash, $21 million. Just be saying, like, if they were to cut him right now or trade him right now, they'd accumulate about $19 million. I'll say that for sure. About $19 million in dead cap. If they were, this would really have to be the way it's scheduled. I wonder how this contract, because the base salary is $10 million, $9 million. Am I missing something? $9 million, $10 million. That's about. If they restructured them too, the restructure. Okay. Basically, it'd be kind of hard to move him. It's not possible, but it'd be kind of hard to move him. But they would accumulate. They would have to accumulate draft capital too. They would. With that being said, like, I don't know necessarily at his age at 33 they'd get a first round pick, but I'm pretty sure they get a second. Like that's not down in my mind. Getting back to the draft, I'm pretty sure they get a second round pick at least. Like I wouldn't be surprised. But with that being said, it's a lot to think about. So let me know what y'all think about the Green Bay Packers and what they're gonna do. Other than that, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you all for watching, and tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. See y'all.